Hey loan officers, if you're struggling and you have no idea what to do, this video is for you because I'm gonna give you the 4A breakthrough, what I call the 4A breakthrough that's gonna help you take the next steps in order to break through whatever ceiling that you got. Hey, if you're not familiar who I am, I'm DJ Christofferson, been a licensed loan officer since the end of 2009, been a top 0.5% producer in the country, helped build a mortgage company by multiple billions in annual volume, and my focus now is helping loan officers and branch managers build and scale mortgage careers that they love. All right, so the 4A breakthrough, this is what I call this is the 4A breakthrough. It's a very, very simple thing. And if this works for anyone at any level that they are at. So whether you are a newbie and you're struggling or you're a branch manager and you're stuck, this 4A breakthrough will work for you. And so what's the first A? Admit. Very simple. But it's a hard thing for us to do, especially if you have had any ounce of success in this business. It can be very difficult for you to admit that, hey, I am stuck. I don't know what to do. The market has changed on me. No, I don't know what to do in this rate environment. I don't know how to scale a team any longer. I can't keep people. That's okay. But the first thing that we need is we have to admit that, hey, I don't know what to do. And not only that, I need some help. The second one we need, the second A, is advice. This is critical. Now, it may sound obvious here. Who we get the advice from 100% matters. Now, have you ever been on a Facebook group and you see loan officers all the time and they'll post things, what are you guys doing to get business? Or how do you handle this situation? And depending on how big the Facebook group is you'll see dozens, sometimes you'll see some threads, you have 100, 150, 200 types of comments from loan officers all across the country. And the loan officer, the branch manager who is asking those questions, while they might be well-intended with asking that question, when it comes to taking the advice of whoever on there, they're pretty indiscriminate. They don't really care. They just pick a device that sounds the best to them, whether it's any good or not. And many times, statistically speaking, the percentage of the people that are providing that advice is that if you were to look at their business, it's not business that you want to have. If you want to be in the top 5% or the top 1% or the top 10%, whatever the top percent you want, is that you can't be like the rest. So if you would be in the top 10%, you can't do, think, and behave the way the other 90% does. Because if you do, you're going to get the results. So when you get advice or seek advice, it has to be from someone whose business you look up to or admire, whatever it is, whatever the word is. And that comes with admitting. It's okay to look up to another person's business. It doesn't mean that you worship him or her, right? But you want to get advice from somebody whose business you look up to or who has done it before. Now, take that with a slight grain of salt, because if they did it before 50 years ago and they haven't caught up with anything, and there are the exceptions to that, but generally speaking, is whose business do you look up to that's currently crushing it, or who has done it that's crushed it, and that you can seek their advice. Now, how do you get them to give you advice? Well, sometimes it's pretty darn difficult, right? Because they're busy, they have their other things going on, and so you need to find a way that you can be valuable to that person or persons, and you might have to reach out to many of them. I have loan officers that reach out to me all the time. And I just got to the point is that, I like to help loan officers and I like to help branch managers, but I can't help everybody. And so one of the ways that I determine is it sounds kind of jerkish, but is how do they ask? If they come in asking from a place like I owe it to them, which I don't owe it to anybody. Well, maybe a few people I do, and of course I'd help them. Is that I'm not going to answer. Like what, for instance, I had a loan officer recently and he emailed me wanting some help on something, and I was going to respond to it. But then I looked at the email. I was part of a larger list. How do I know that? It's because I was BCC'd on that. And when people blind carbon copy you on an email, it means they're sending it out to many different people. And guess what? I did not respond to that email. And why? Is because, I'm very busy. I got a lot of things going on. And so at least you could do is be personal and be nice. So you got to figure out a way that you can provide value to them in any which way. Sometimes it's just by being very nice to them and you being, flatter them in some fashion. If you're not able to do that, well, then you got to get some free advice. Right? I mean, free advice. It could be like videos like this. that you're getting. I'm gonna do a lot more of these. It could be some books from different loan officers. There's one from a friend of mine, The 24/7 Mindset by Wally, and it's Wall Street Journal bestseller. Now 24/7, just to let you know, it doesn't mean 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It means 24 hours a week, 7 months a year. That's what he was working, where he built it to. Now I'm not suggesting you do that, but it's a great book. You can read that. That's a cheap resource. But the thing is, you need to get advice from people that have done it, whose business you respect, and then, then here's the next part, is you have to take action. You get all the advice in the world, all the information in the world. You can get the exact framework, what to do step by step, but if you don't take action, it's not going to work for you, right? So you absolutely need to take action on what it is. Now, my recommendation, you might have 30 different things you want to take action on, but do one at a time, maybe two, depending on what they are. But here's another big reason why taking action is so important. If you get one of these people here to give you some advice, even if they pay for it, get into a coaching program, whatever you need to do, right? But if you or get some advice from somebody here and you don't take action and they find out about it and you come back to them, they will never help you again. It's the most frustrating thing is when you know what works. Like say, if somebody comes to me and asks for advice and I give them the plan, like, I'll do whatever you say, I gotta do it, I wanna grow my business, I gotta feed my family, all this stuff, I have these things, I need to do big goals. And then you give them the advice, you talk to them 60 days, so what did you accomplish? I got busy, I didn't do anything. You're not gonna get any more advice from those people. You're certainly not gonna get it from me in that case, is because why? Why should we take the time, or why should they take the time to help? It might sound callous, the thing is just a reality. So you need to take action on what it is. I'll go back to this one more point time here too. You might get a lot of things that you need to take action. You might realize how much of a mess your business or all the opportunities is. You can't do everything. Rome wasn't built in a day, so take it one step at a time. The last part is accountable. You need to be accountable to take action, be accountable to the advice that you get. And how can you be accountable? Well, this is where, a coaching program, all sorts of coaching programs. I'm not going to recommend any program here over the course or not, because there's different programs for different people. It could be just social media, is that you say, hey, I'm going to be prospecting every day for 3 hours every day, and I'm going to post it on here. I'm going to keep myself accountable. If I don't make my post here by 12 o'clock, call me out, or something like that. Or you might have an accountability group. You might find other loan officers that are in the same place as you. You guys are committed to growing your business, and then you guys have an accountability group. And then maybe just be texting, you coach, cheer each other on, or you get on a weekly Zoom. What are you gonna do next week? What did you, and then did you do what you say you're going to do? The point is that you need to be accountable to it. Me is, I hire coaches. I've had many different coaches for all different facets of my life and business over the years. And one thing that I did is I actually hired a fitness coach, and it was online. And so it wasn't like I was going to the gym with a personal trainer. I got in fantastic shape. I was actually really out of shape, unhealthy, all these things. Won't get into all my blood work and all that stuff. But I hired a coach, even though I was pretty decent athlete, growing up through high school, got recruited D1 football, all that kind of stuff. Don't look like it now. But there was a day that I actually was athletic. And so I lifted weights and all that kind of stuff. I knew a lot, but you know what? What I didn't have was the accountability. And the accountability forced me to keep track of my numbers, keep track of my weight, keep track of my diet, keep track of my workout plans. Not only that, I was sending him in videos of my lifts, and then he'd critique them and say, hey, these are the things that you need to work on. Hey, your flexibility here in your hips and your stuff is not as good. Here's some exercises you need to do to get better with that. And slowly by surely, I started to lose the weight, gain the muscle. I started to get more flexibility. Lifts started getting better, and so on and so on. And it's because of accountability. Yes, he gave me advice. I took action on the advice, but then I was accountable. If I got the advice, but I take action, nothing's gonna happen. If I got the advice, I took action, but I wasn't accountable, is that my actions might be going okay, and there might be room for improvement. But the accountability will help me see, was my action really good or not? Or are there better ways to do it and getting better and better and better? And so if you are struggling, you're feeling capped in your business, you don't know what to do, first step is you got to admit it. Admit that you need help. From there, seek advice from somebody whose business that you admire, then take action on that advice, and then be accountable on that advice. And from there, you will break through the plateaus you're seeing in your business. Then what will happen is that you'll get to a new plateau. And that's a great thing to happen, right? So one more quick little drawing of find it in this space here is that you're here and you're moving along this way, but then you follow this, and then you're gonna hit there. And then you're gonna hit a new spot where you're plateau. You're gonna keep going this way until you do this again. And then you're gonna keep going. And it's just gonna keep going there over and over and over and over until you stop following this. Because there are things at this level that you're not ready for at this level, right? That's just the way that it is. There are things in my business and as I grow my business that I am not prepared for, I have no idea. But once I hit that roadblock, is that I gotta admit it, seek the advice from somebody who's been through that and whose business I admire, take action on it and be accountable to it. And that's how you have growth that can never be stopped. So if you find this valuable, give me a like, give me a subscribe, share with some other loan officers that you think would find this valuable. Geez, I can't talk. Other than that, you have yourself a great day. See you on the next video.